Hi, everybody. This is Ram Maria with Healing Under the Sun. Oops, just got myself. Ugh, I'm in a coffee place right now, and just kind of wanted to check in with everybody and talk to you, share my experiences, like tell you how my process is going. And what I mean by process is by awakening, right? I think we all have moments in life where we experience it. Some call depression, others call spiritual awakening. Um, I like to call the process as opposed to label in a very specific way that kind of limit us from explaining ourselves and life in general. So in this video, I'm gonna touch specifically the topic, like as titled, how to use your inner guidance. We all have an inner guidance, and many call divine guidance. But sometimes this divine guidance may lead us to some disappointment, some experiences there end up not being very pleasant. And again, it all depends on your point of view and how you define specifically what you see, right? Because we touched upon on previous talks that it's all about your point of view, how you see things. My inner eye sometimes is different than you. Your point of view is on is usually going on specific things, and I'm going into specific things. And it's all based also in your own spiritual progress. So since I was very young, um, I felt like I was always guided, and it was always challenging for me to discern. I'll never forget how my mom would always tell me, "Oh, I'm praying that you can discern, that you learn how to discern, and God guides you." She would always say, "Divine guidance guides you." But at that point, I didn't understand exactly what that meant, and I was just going kind of on an autopilot. I was like following my instincts, my emotions, and some may call gut feeling when you like follow your gut. But the thing is, we could go on hours about this topic because when we say the gut, right? Um, Science has kind of show us that there are different kind of brains in ourselves, like kind of like the gut, the heart, the mind, the reptilian brain, the reactive mind, and in spirituality, we also touch on the chakras. So the chakras is basically what we say um, that you are operating from a specific place, like right, it is as if your soul is basically entangled on this field in this particular dimension. That's how I like to call. But it's also called energy center. So does it all mean? I'm not sure what your level of spirituality is right now. I can't specifically tell you I'm on specific on this particular dimension, and I experience things in this particular way because in the past few years I realized, oh, I am multidimensional. And what does it mean to be multidimensional? It means that your awareness kind of travels through different dimensions in time and space. And we can call first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And I I'm a big believer that there are even higher dimensions. But the majority of the population in Earth are currently transitioning from third to fourth dimension. And I saw this actually on this guy's channel. His name is Aaron AKBE. I'm a big fan of his content because it kind of relates to me. At least a lot of things that he says, my brain can kind of open up to the ideas. And I know a lot of you who are on this path of understanding your own inner guidance may be a little bit trapped with some of the topics because sometimes our minds close off to particular ideas that are kind of scary, right? Like especially the reactive mind or the reptilian brain, which is always like chasing pleasure and running away from pain. And some other people also call um follow your heart and not your fears, right? Like choose love versus fear. But again, there are just different like aspects in our psychic, which is incredible because like I look at myself in the mirror and I have to pause for a bit and realize they exist. So I don't just keep on going and following, just reacting over all stimulation, like all the external stimulations. Like for a long time, in fact, I was kind of on this path of like just reacting, and I still see myself sometimes in this path when I feel like trapped internally. And when this happens, I mean, I like to take time. I don't know about you, but I think taking time to be fully present and to embrace everything that is happening, discern and also let go of you don't need to carry is important. So there are times sometimes when I literally just like let my body just react to every stimulation and do what it needs to do. It is kind of like a way of cleansing as well, because you literally stop forcing. Like, when we use our will to do certain things, like I'm going to use my will to eat. But there will be times when my body it's not like fully like, I don't want to eat now. And then that creates um like some sort of resistance because it's like one part of you wants this and another part of you don't want this, and we call this doubt, right? It's like you're in doubt of something, and a lot of people are in doubt. It is a very toxic energy, especially when you are gravitating towards places where you feel like you're around a lot of people who are experiencing the same thing, like a split of consciousness, or the yin and yang are not quite balanced, or all the chakras are not quite aligned. It feels like as if you're like there's something called mirror neurons. You can look into that, but it is as if your brain recognizes all of that and starts seeing it, and then your mind is now projecting from that place, and that's when like chaos is this, right? That's when usually call chaos comes in, right? Because it's like you want to go to certain places and if you feel like a part of you is like bringing you back to another place and you're like, oh my gosh, but if I go to this place this may happen, or but if I don't go, this also happens. And it's kind of like a loop, and that stops you. We're all on this journey where we want to move forward, and something is pulling us back. It's pulling us back to what they call also hell. A place where you feel confused, disappointed, where you don't know what to do. But wait a second, we don't want to focus on the negative, right? We want to focus on the positive and make this lecture as pleasant as I can so you can listen to and hopefully take some insights from this that can help you to do better in life and to be greater, right? Like you are the inner artist. Eventually, you are the master of your own universe, of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And the self-mastery journey requires you to be flexible with the process and accept that sometimes there will be distractions. And it feels like to me, it is like like they call temptations also, right? It's like you want to move forward, you want to do something beautiful, and then some obstructions on the way. Like I'm recording a Zoom section right now, and let's say my phone would start suddenly like ringing, or the internet would essentially like disconnect. That's not what's gonna happen, but I'm just giving you some examples of what happens when you feel like you want to move forward and then things are just like trying to stop you. And I mean, along the journey, it's like as you're trying to clear the resistance, the doubts, moments in life may be traumatic and may create more of this negative emotions based on how you see things. Because ultimately, you're creating your point of view of everything. We like to put on layers. It's like, oh, I ate this food and I shouldn't have ate this because of this. And if I had done this, therefore I would feel like that. So every sentence that you're saying is creating our particular emotion. And that emotion, it can be heavy, it can be from low density, and that's gonna bring you to lower dimensions. Like I've mentioned, we are multidimensional, and there are these different dimensions that our awareness operates from, like right, your source, soul, spirit, divine love, which you are. I mean, I'm sure everybody who's here in this talk right now has already realize this aspect within, like that inner voice, that very deeper, calm voice that soothes everything, that kind of makes everything else go away and bring you back to the present moment so you can function from that place as opposed to from your reactive mind. I've never gone to doctors like psychologists or a neurologist who could actually diagnose what happens inside my brain, but I've seen a psychotherapist and he told me once that my pineal gland has this like pieces of glasses, and it's kind of like, the pineal gland is also the inner gate to consciousness, which allows you to see your entire inner world, aka your subconscious mind, and everything that is happening. So like we're all connecting to everybody every time, and we're essentially like making agreements to co-create with one another. If you haven't seen or heard about this term, soul agreements, is basically when two souls are joining um within, like they agree to help one another. And in this agreement, there are obviously like many thoughts, feelings, and emotions that can arise from one another. And eventually, what I'm sending to one, it comes back to me, aka karma, right? Have you heard that term when somebody says, "Oh, this person has karma. She has her mind is karmic because there were mistakes in the past that were done, and now things are coming back to her." And I mean, everything is karma, but karma is not a negative thing because there are also some good karmas, right? Dharma, that's another very famous term in this spiritual community. Dharma, it is as if you have a purpose. It is as if you use your pain and suffering and transform into dharma. So right now, I'm using my karma. I'm transforming my karma in dharma. So all the pain that I've gone through in the past and like throughout this journey, and going through hells, when I'm out of it and I can be here now and talk to you guys about these things, I can share those experiences and tell you that everything's okay, that I made through it, right? At least this moment I'm here right now, which means I'm alive, and I can speak clear and share exactly what I've gone through in a way that I feel like I understand what has happened also, right? That I wasn't just like fully blind, like many people are going through this journey right now. And I feel sorry for those who are not searching for support resources because there are so many, especially nowadays with the internet. And since we're tapping specifically in how to follow your inner guidance, I'm just kind of brainstorming in like what this inner guidance is before we kind of get to the hot spots of this topic. Because I may feel right now inspired, like what I also call, right, inspired to record this session to you. And suddenly, my inner guidance may trigger me into something else. Like, there's this place, like it's kind of like an image pops on your consciousness, and like the emotion that you feel is like excitement with expectation, hope, and a strong desire to go to that place. And then you suddenly drop what you're doing and then you go there, and then you go there and you realize there was nothing there, that was like boring. And what you take out of this experience is like, oh my gosh, um I wasted time, or disappointment, or like your demons are guiding me towards the wrong places. Or you can also say, okay, I see, this was basically my inner guidance telling me that I was supposed to get out of the place I was, and instead of being here in this place and at the place I was before, I'm here now, and then I can take this to another place, right? To, let's say, what you have intended for the day. You have the intentions that I'm guessing you've set for in the beginning of the day, because you don't just wake up and just start reacting towards stimulation or just like survival mode. I mean, yes, we all need money. There are times that gets rough. But the times when you're not worried about money, even when you don't have a lot, you can use towards um following your purpose, right? And creating more videos. Like let's say you want to become a therapist, or you want to become a singer, or you want to become a rapper, or I mean there are different things, and you understand that in order to arrive to a certain place, you do need to dedicate time and have discipline to follow the steps that are needed in order to arrive at the top of the mountain. So it's not an easy journey, but I'm just giving you an example that throughout the journey, many things will happen inside your psychic. It's like you want to move forward, and all the distractions may keep, they might arrive, they might pop up on the way, but you need to always remember to come back to your inner guidance, to divine light, to the part of you that is clear of everything, that can see here now, and not allow the past or your traumatic experiences stop you, because this traumatic experiences also create what we call fear. So if I had a bad experience in one particular place with one person, I may not want to come back to that place, so to that person, because of something that happened. But hey, so much has changed. That person maybe was just chosen to do a specific thing to you at that particular time, because that was something that you were supposed to see and learn from that. We shouldn't just take this like negative lessons, like this how you call try some like undesired experiences as something that is like karmic and that would create more pain for you in the future based on your point of view. So the goal is to learn how to tap in divine light and awareness in a part that is showing you positive as opposed to fear, negativity, etc. Hey, I'm not saying that you should all of a sudden disregard all the fear, because obviously fear has saved me from so many times. You need to learn how to discern, essentially, like as you writing, as you on this journey, like I feel like a strong, like say you start feeling like a strong fear for something, like I'm talking to you right now, and I may feel like there's some entity here that is really negative and it's sort of like emanating some weird thoughts and feelings, and I can feel and sense, and it's maybe time to stop. I do that. I have to stop myself because I know my limits, and I understand that with everyone who I interact and I am entangled with, that may be some things that may come up later based on these interactions. That's when a lot of people, they go to bed and they can't sleep because they don't understand what's happening. But that's because they're just fully unaware of themselves. They just go on reacting, sending all kinds of things to everybody, and they don't realize that everything you're sending to the universe, to your inner universe, is essentially coming back to you. And everybody is essentially part of your universe because we're always co-creating. The idea of oneness or one love that Bob Marley has touched upon many times before is to essentially remind everybody and state that we are one. That when we co-create together, it's like we are essentially like exchanging information, exchanging thoughts and feelings, and everybody is put on your path because they essentially have similar experiences to you. They have similar challenges, interests, purpose, and even beliefs. So it takes time for you to really like strengthen your beliefs and let go of the ones that don't serve you, so you can tap more into your higher self and to the part of you who is extremely wise, present, loving, and wants to see you succeed and wants you to move forward, not to stay stuck in the old places and old patterns that that no longer serve you. And yeah, this topic, I mean, I could go for so long here, but in terms of divine guidance, I just want to tell you one thing. Be aware um, of the inner voice all the time. Be aware of what is guiding you, who is guiding you. Don't trust 100%. Don't trust all the time, especially at times when you feel like the emotion is heavy or dense, because usually when you're following your inner guidance and it's like love and it's um divine light and it's like the right place at the right time, you don't have any doubts, you don't have any resistance, you eventually are just one with it and you can just go with that flow. But when there's like a lot of resistance or doubts and everything, I recommend you to slow down, meditate, go as deeper as you can so you can find the part of you that is guiding you at that moment. Because it could be your past, it could be a very past like a past self that is trapped in some very low dimension and it's just like guiding you for more karma, for more pain. And if you don't know how to get there, um, I recommend you start meditating. There's no like a formula for you to get there, right? Like how do I get to the part of me that is guiding my conscious mind, my conscious self, the one that is here and now. Or when you feel like you're not fully present, when you feel like you're not quite there is just like a part of you doing something out there, and there's another part of you that is guiding the process. So just be careful. Like the right side guides the left side of the brain, the left side guides the part of the right side of the brain. So if I'm channeling from an emotional state, it is that I'm following my rationality, right? I'm following some of the I'm following the part of me that has accumulated knowledge, information. And I mean, the wisdom may be combined at that moment as well, as you open up for more insights about whatever you're channeling from. But I could also be on my left side and I would just be channeling also my right side, which is like now, all these feelings and emotions, and just be projecting all my feelings. So start to like pay attention, even the conversations you have and whoever you interact with, remember they are also being guided. There are times where I sit at tables at restaurants and I can kind of feel and sense when somebody is being told, sit next to this girl because she's cute and she has this and that you really like. It's scary. It's creepy. It's like, because like I feel it and I just like I move myself. I just look at it as if I didn't see you here and I just leave. It's kind of psycho, right? And I mean, I'm not here to brag myself or like boost my ego, because it's challenging. Like I said, I take time off. I take time to basically heal from the hangover, from the charge of the word of all the entities and other people, because the light attracts darkness and darkness attracts light. You are light and darkness at the same time. You are unconsciously texting people, calling people sometimes just because you want to suck some of the energy. You want to feel good. And I mean, we laugh when somebody says that, right? Like when a friend calls you, "Oh, I just wanted to call you. I need some energy boost and just wanted to feel more positive." Yes, if you have that kind of friend who's open for you, who's can open up and say, "I'm here for you. Let's do this. I want to help you out." Yes, that's great. But this person is probably very intuitive, self-aware, and knows how to protect itself. But if this person doesn't know how, she's essentially being vampirized by all these like monsters who are just sucking the most they can from that. And I was like that. For many years, a lot of people were doing this to me. Obviously, I'm still paying the price for ignorance of not knowing. But at the same time, I can grant myself all the forgiveness I can, because it was never like a thing I was conscious of. Like I never meant to create suffering. I was never meant to create suffering, but I was blind of so much, and because of some issues that I had with like learning and um focus and other things, I was just like, okay, let's just keep reacting and ignoring that my subconscious uh it's actually driving the my entire experience, my life in this particular way. But I think I've covered a lot in this talk. I don't want to overwhelm you. If you're interested in learning more about all of this that I said, just make notes of some of the terms that I've touched upon. Uh, my Instagram is also on my wisdom profile on my YouTube channel, which is also listed on my profile. So feel free to watch more videos or visit some of my previous talks. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. If you want to check with me, like share your experience, your story via email or via DM, I'll be there for you. But for today, this is it. I just wanted to say, I just wanted to share and remind you that you are very loved, regardless of where you are. God bless you.